What to do about technology in the classroom? This is a massive question, and with each new device and technology that emerges, it seems to burn more hotly. AI, one-to-one device initiatives, phones in the classroom, smart boards, iPads, Chromebooks, on and on we could go. What to do about technology in the classroom? Well, here are some principles. First, we must remember that technology is not neutral. It is not just a tool. It never has been. Think of this old saying, when you give a kid a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? Even with a simple tool, a very humble tool like a hammer, when we have it in our hands, we start to want to hammer things, right? It nudges us towards hammering, okay? If that happens with something as simple as a hammer, what happens when we have these digital omni tools at our beck and call, always on our person, with screens that can show us anything, tell us anything, and do nearly anything for us? Massive questions. Technology is not neutral. Technology forms and shapes our view of the world. And digital technologies especially are this way, because they are much more than tools. They can do so many things, and they become, I like to say, reality mediating mechanisms. They become habitats or environments in which we live in a way that prior tools and technologies couldn't, right? I couldn't live in a hammer the way I can live online. So this has massive implications for education. So first off, you got to remember technology is not neutral. Secondly, the digital technologies especially create some big challenges for what it means to be a human being. The nature of the digital world pushes us towards disembodiment, mechanistic ways of thinking, and autonomy. Three things that are not healthy for human flourishing. Right? Uh, Being pushed toward disembodiment is not healthy. Mechanistic ways of thinking are not healthy, nor is autonomy. All three of those things are faulty lies, really. So, what do we do for education? For one, this means that we should not go all in on technology. If anything, we should be tech skeptics in the classroom. Students don't need Chromebooks to learn. They don't need iPads or smartboards to learn. In fact, many times these technologies interfere with the learning process rather than enhance it. So the job we have as educators is not to cater to our students and their techno tastes, but to refine, enhance, improve, and redirect their tastes so that they can see a better world. We need to show students another world beyond text and tweets, beyond YouTube and TikTok, a better world, a humane world of full presence, full engagement with the world around them and with one another. So how can we do this in our classroom? Well, here are a few starting points. One, you have to create sanctified spaces. You have to create a classroom that is free from digital chatter, or at least has times where it is free from digital chatter. In my classroom, I collect cell phones. Okay, I've been doing this for a long time. More and more schools are starting to pick up on this. I think it's vital to get the devices out of the students' hands, or out of their pockets, or out of their bags, off of their person, to get rid of one temptation in the classroom. Uh, this was a revolutionary decision as far as classroom management goes when I first decided to do this. It worked so well at the school I was at the time, actually. I was teaching the public schools at the time. And it worked so well in my classroom that the principal then asked me to present it to the whole faculty the next year for implementation. And I got so many thank yous from teachers that year when we first implemented the program. It can be challenging to collect cell phones or implement a policy like this, but it is worth it. It is worth it to help foster full presence in the classroom with each other and with the ideas and the content that's being discussed. Secondly, we need to consider whether a technology atrophies a human faculty or enhances a human faculty. Okay. Is the technology weakening me as a person mentally or physically or some other way, or is it enhancing me? Okay, so think of a pencil, right? A pencil enhances the human faculty to write. I can't really write too precisely with my finger, right? I can't, dip my finger too well in paint and write clear letters. But with a pencil, my faculty of writing is refined and enhanced. I'm still doing it, but can do it more precisely, okay? So a pencil is, in general, I would say, a technology that enhances a human faculty. Uh, then we could look at a calculator, right? A calculator can be both. It can atrophy human faculties, especially when it's introduced too early, when students don't actually memorize their math facts and they go to the calculator right away. But eventually, over time, a calculator can have a place in the math class, right? So we need to think carefully about technologies. Are they atrophying human faculties or enhancing them? And I would say, in general, the more we move towards computers and smartphones and iPads in the classroom and so forth, those tend to atrophy human faculties, right? In a way that we need to really be careful with. Another thing I would say is that we should listen to good old Neil Postman. Neil Postman was an amazing social critic, um, and had a lot of things to say about technology that are very prophetic, even though he predates a lot of these digital things in some ways. He suggested that in the classroom, serious thought must be undertaken when we consider any technology in the classroom, whether it's a film strip, whether it's a computer, a Chromebook, a smartboard, whatever it is. Educators cannot be too cautious about implementation. He wants us to remain skeptical of technology and its claims. And he also talks about how we should encourage in our students a mindset where they are more interested in asking questions about the computer than in getting answers from it. In other words, technology itself should be an object of inquiry. And what Postman means by that is that we shouldn't just teach students how to use technology. In fact, maybe that doesn't really have much of a place at all. Instead, we should teach them to ask questions about technology. Right? How does this affect us? How is this technology forming us? Those are the questions that we need to equip our students with, that way of thinking about technology, so they can navigate this digital world and what will unfold in front of them in the years to come. So all of this is to say that true education is ultimately a very low-tech endeavor. A rightly ordered and humane education focuses on the topics and texts that have stood the test of time, and their ordinary transmission through dialogue and discussion, where words are spoken, read, written, and shared. When we focus on these simple, humane, and low-tech methods, we help form our students and ourselves in truth, goodness, and beauty. No screen or app required.